I'm 87 or 89 years old.
Oh my gosh. Well, looking at you, we wouldn't know, or I wouldn't know that. I'm not sure about Skip, but
Yeah.
I definitely would say you look like
everybody tells me that, and I think they're telling the truth.
Well,
because I feel better than my age, really.
What did you do then as you got older and into the working world? What was your profession or job?
I went to graduate from Lebanon High School in '24, and then I went to. I had a friend who said he's a good friend of mine. He said he's going to Millersville to become a rural school teacher. So he asked me to go along. So I said okay. So I went along, and we spent a summer, I think 6 weeks, and then you were supposed to be a teacher after that. And, well, you were supposed to go the next summer again. So I taught a rural school for 2 years.
Did you really? Where at?
Well, out near Bunker Hill.
Okay.
There's a home out there now. It was a school,
okay.
But I taught school there in that little one-room schoolhouse for 2 years.
Okay, and then after that
was an experience.
Oh, was it?
I tell you, I used to walk out there, and from Brock's there, I'd walk all the way out there, and that was quite a walk. And later on, I got a car, an old Overland it was, and that was interesting too.
And then after the 2 years,
then I went to Penn State.
Okay, and
I
then
went to Penn State. And
what did you do after?
4 years up there, and graduated from there, and then I got a job teaching, and I was supposed to get a job teaching at Williams. I did practice teaching there, and they said they wanted me there they apparently liked my work, so they wanted me to, but what happened, it was a good school. It was out of the ordinary school. It was a vocational school, and what happened, they had planned to put in another teacher, but then that thing fell through because it was in 1929 when we had that bust. So so I had to take a job for a lot less, and it was down at Pottstown. That was my first teaching job there.
And so how did you get back to this area then?
Well, I taught there for, I guess, 1 year, and I got a job up on the other side of Harrisburg there in Camp Hill.
Mm-hmm.
I got a job up there, and I taught 2 years there, and then I came back to Lebanon, out in Independent Borough, and I taught school there for a number of years, and from there I went into Henry Hawk, and then later on up to Lebanon High School.
Then you taught the Lebanon High School until you retired?
No, I taught in Lebanon High, and then I was teaching drafting in Lebanon High School, and I had kids going out of my class making more money than I. So one day I went to the superintendent and I said, to the hell with this, I'm going out in industry too. So I went out, and I was out in industry for about 16 years. And
as a draftsman?
Draftsman, yes.
Okay.
And then I, let's see, what else did I do?
You eventually ended up at Northern Lebanon, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, that was after those 16 years. I went back to teaching again, because that way was the only way I could. That was the only way I could get my retirement.
Okay, so then you retired as a school teacher?
Yeah, I was. Then I taught 4 years after that.
Okay.
Over at Northern Lebanon.
Northern Lebanon, then. And that was your last teaching job before you retired?
Yeah.
Then.
Well, no, I'm wrong. There's one thing I forgot. I was teaching 4 years up at Blue Mountain. And then 4 years at
Northern
Lebanon.
Until you retired then?
Until I retired.
And when was that?
That was in 72.
72, then you retired.
Mm-hmm.
I saw on your door out here when I came in, you built this place in 1939.
Yeah, well, I should have put it on there. It was a period of from about 36 until 39. My wife and I moved into it in October of 39. Is when my wife and I moved in here. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't quite finished even. The window wasn't in, and the floors weren't finished. We had floors, but it wasn't quite finished.
Was this of your own design?
Yeah, I designed it, and I was my own contractor. I hired men. I hired 5 men one summer, and ate men another summer, and I had 2 and 3 guys here full time for about 2.5 years. One of them was my uncle. He cut the trees down. They're all oak. The trees are all oak, and it's largely handcrafted. I did build a machine to cut the logs, the full length of the log, and but all the corners are hand done. That's why I was never paid enough for it, because it was largely handcrafted. I got a screwing, really. The lawyers saw to that, even my own lawyer. Yeah, that's one thing that doesn't go down well.
Hard to swallow.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you love this place very much, so.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's a very nice place, too.
Well, it's
very homey.
I put a lot of time in it, and the people that helped me did a good job. I did.
It's a very interesting place.
Well, it's you know, I have to say it's unusual. It is, because of the way I constructed it. It's the outside logs are all hand hewn. I couldn't get anyone to do that today, because it's hard work. It's done with a hand axe, and my uncle did that.
Mm-hmm.
He could handle the axe all right. He knew how to handle it. Yeah, practically all the ends that you see outside are various lengths, and they're all hand hewn, except where they're sawed off.
I take notice you even have a loft up here, basically, with the barn doors. And
yeah, that's I had some double-decker bunks up there, but my wife gave them away, so they're not up there anymore. But I store some of my clothing.
It's surprising that your wife must have liked the outdoors too.
Well, that's a funny thing. My wife was city bred, and I wasn't sure at first whether she'd, but she seemed to like it. She didn't object, and in fact, she learned to love the place. She after some years. When the state took it over, she knew the state was going to take it over, and she was against it. But I don't know. Some people say it helped to put an end to it. I don't know whether that's true or not.
When did she die?
When 71, I guess it was.
What was her name?
Margaret Oliver. Peg. They always called her Peg. Peg Oliver. She worked at the steel foundry before. She put 27 years in down there at the steel foundry. Mm-hmm. She was a receptionist at the steel foundry.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
She was an exceptionally good-looking woman.
I remember her because my uncle and my brothers and I and my grandfather, we'd walk up here from the Wolf Den in the 60s. It would have been in the early 60s.
We stopped there a couple times, I believe, and Boyer.
Yeah.
Out Boyer. We used to stop in there with them because we knew them. And as a kid, I worked for the Boyers.
What was his business?
Who?
The Boyers.
Why, printing.
Oh, Boyer Printing there.
The
Boyer
Boyer Printing.
Printing.
Boyer Printing,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Which is still owned by the same family.
Yeah,
I think
the family
is it his
still
son
owns it.
Stephen that runs it now?
I don't know. I really.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't know.
See, I never put that together. I knew it was the Boyer Cottage.
Yeah,
but I never knew who they were.
Yeah, they were always good friends of ours.
How many cottages were along here? Was it kind of sparse, or were there a lot?
You
or
mean
kind of along here? Yeah.
Since the state took it over.
Yeah.
Well, I sold about 4 lots down here, and they had homes on them, but they tore them all down.
Did you own pretty much property out here then?
Well, at one time I had around 400 acres. I practically gave 60-some acres to a farmer over across the street, the creek, because it was removed from me by the creek, so I wasn't too interested. And I gave this, practically gave it to a farmer over there. And when the state took it over, I had a little over 100 acres.
When did the state take it over?
Oh, let's see, when did they take it? 77, I think it was.
77.
Yeah, the court case was in 77.
Because I know they had talked about doing this whole park thing, I guess, back in the late 60s, early 70s?
Yeah, it was in 60 when I learned they were content, and I immediately started to fight it. And I had a group of young fellows, they were much younger than I, about 6 guys, I guess. They were helping. Now, they didn't all live in the area, but some of them were from Lebanon. But they knew it wasn't feasible, the dam part of it wasn't feasible. The park, yeah. But they knew that the dam wasn't feasible, and it still isn't feasible. Mm-hmm. That's my opinion. The bridge area, he moved down a little further. Vassal. He and I both saw this. They put, I think it was 3 big truckloads of fish in there one time. I came to go across the bridge one night around 10 o'clock, and they were dumping fish. 3 big truckloads. And I had to go up and around Stuttgart to get in, because they were on the bridge. Well, we didn't see the fish anymore. So, people say, oh, there's fish in the stream. Yes, there are. They took 200 properties, or approximately 200 properties, when they did that. So all those people lost their homes. I remember one woman who they chased out. She had a nice home, a well-kept home, and they chased her out. And then they rented the property for about 8 years. Now, there wasn't any sense in that. Chase this woman out and then rent the property. Mm-hmm. She could have lived there those 8 years. Mm-hmm.
Well, then eventually, I guess they went along and knocked all the places down and demolished every one of them.
Right. And then they got the vassal to knock them down and get rid of the junk. And then, then people complain that Vassal has a junkyard there. Well, they were responsible for helping him do it, really.
I remember when that was in the paper a number of months ago.
Well,
they
they find fault with him about that. Well, they were partly responsible. And they were a big user of water. A big user, and they used that as an argument.
When you said that you grew up in Lickdale, did you grow up in the small area that's a community, or was it?
No, I was. I lived with my grandparents. I lived east of Lickdale.
East of Lickdale.
About a mile.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to go down there. There used to be a covered bridge down there, and my grandmother would send me to Lickdale to the store. To pick up sugar and flour and stuff like that, and I'd go through this covered bridge. It burnt down since.
Did you guys use the train much to go different places to like Philadelphia?
The only time I used that train is when we were kids and we'd come over to the millionaire's home and spend a weekend there.
That's very interesting. She invited you kids over. That was very nice of her to do that.
Oh yes, that was nice. And they had another woman there who was working there. I don't know what her title was or what she did, but she liked kids, and they had a big kitchen, and we'd run around in the kitchen and carry on. My mother used to think, something might happen, we'd break something or something, and she'd get worried. But this woman, she'd urge it.
When all you need to do is urge kids to do it, and they just follow right along.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. I guess in those days, too, there were probably fairly many passenger trains back and forth.
Yeah, but the only time I used that train is when we came over to the millionaires. But it was interesting. I remember one time when we were on the train over in Lebanon, we hit a woman, I think it was. The train hit a woman and killed her. And I remember the train stopped, and then later on it moved on. It must have been somewhere out and around, what street would it have been? 16th Street or 12th Street or somewhere around in there.
Uh-huh. So then the chauffeur then would pick you up and take you over there. Okay. I was going to say, did you ever, have a time when you'd go in maybe yourself and walk to, say like on a summer day, walk to the park itself? But it sounds like you had the chauffeur come pick you up, or she had the chauffeur come pick you up?
Yeah, well, they always picked us up,
At the train station at 8th and the railroad?
At the 8th and the railroad, yeah.
Did you get on then at the Lickdale station, or was it one of the others?
No, we get on at the Lickdale.
You got on at Lickdale?
Okay. Yeah, I remember a person that used to get on with us. It was Dr. Samuel Grow. Do you remember him?
Yeah, he delivered me.
Did he? No, not that.
Oh, no, I'm thinking John L. Grow.
You're thinking John L.
Yeah.
No, this is Samuel Grow. His middle name was Bordner, same as mine. Samuel Bordner Grow. He was supposed to be related. I guess he was. But he was a dentist.
Would Maggie Grow be related to him?
Maggie was his sister.
His
and
sister.
She was in an airplane going to England, I guess, or coming back, and the damn thing went down, and
it was.
They didn't hear of her anymore.
From what I had heard, she had never gone on a trip. She never got married, never went on a trip,
right.
And after she retired, this was the thing she wanted to do.
Yeah.
And she went and never came back.
Never came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I can picture her.
Well, as a matter of fact, one of the gentlemen that I know, Colonel Ditzler, I don't know if you know him or not, or if he's been out to talk to you at all about Lickdale.
I know
Francis Ditzler.
Francis.
Yeah.
Yeah, Francis. Oh
yeah.
He was up here a number of times. Yeah,
Was
I
he?
know him well.
Okay.
And his wife, she taught school with me over at Northern Lebanon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, he was saying about Maggie Grow, and he said he had her, I think, as a school teacher, and he told me that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sad. Yeah. Yeah, she had another sister who was good looking and very bright. I forget her name.
Maggie Grow.
Maggie Grow, yeah.
Now, who was the teacher at Miss Grow at Henry Howe?
That was another Grow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this one taught at what, the one-room schoolhouse would have been in the Lickdale area?
Yeah.
Which would have been up until the 50s, 60s maybe, with the one-room schoolhouse?
Yeah, I don't know how long those were in operation, really. There was one room school.